Okay, let's unpack this. Close your eyes for a second. Can you, feel the hum of that old CRT TV?
Oh, yeah.
Or hear that, triumphant jingle from a 16-bit console?
Definitely. Takes you right back.
We're setting our time machine today. Destination, 1993. An incredibly exciting year.
Absolutely. It wasn't just another year for games, was it? It felt like an explosion.
Totally. An explosion of creativity, innovation. It really reshaped gaming. So, our mission today, let's dig into why these games became legends.
Right. How they pushed boundaries.
Exactly. And maybe find some surprising insights about game design that still hold up. For you listening, think of this as your fast track, your shortcut to understanding this really crucial, vibrant time in digital entertainment, hopefully packed with some aha moments.
You know, what's really remarkable about 93, looking at our sources here, is just the sheer breadth of games we're talking about. It's a great cross-section covering different consoles, different genres. You had beloved franchises getting these revolutionary sequels right alongside totally new ideas.
Yeah, new concepts that just popped up and changed expectations.
Exactly. It feels like the industry was really hitting its stride then.
It absolutely did. It felt like every month brought something new, something incredible. And for a lot of us, especially, if you grew up with the Dendy console, that NES clone popular in Eastern Europe.
Yes, the Dendy.
1993 was huge for that. It was all about reliving and maybe redefining those childhood favorites. Let's kick things off with Chip and Dale 2.
Good starting point.
Capcom didn't just phone in a sequel here. They really showed how, subtle tweaks could elevate a whole game.
Yeah, and one key thing about Chip and Dale 2 is how those seemingly small mechanical changes, they actually had a big impact on strategy.
Like the diagonal throws.
Exactly, the diagonal throws, or those super throws, remember, where you hold an item, or even your partner, until they blink.
Oh yeah, for extra damage.
Right. It wasn't just adding more moves, it kind of quietly redefined how you moved in 2D. Pushed you to think more about space, positioning, but in a way that felt really intuitive. It's a design idea you see echoed later,
That's a great point. It wasn't just about the plot, Fat Cat escaping again. It was about evolving the feel of playing it. And speaking of evolution, we absolutely have to talk about a game many still call a masterpiece. Battletoads and Double Dragon.
Oh, legendary. Absolutely legendary.
It wasn't just a game. It was this huge crossover, right? Rare's Battletoads meeting Techno's Double Dragon guys.
And the genius of that one, I think, really lay in its crazy level design. It just bent genres like crazy.
Totally.
Most beat-em-ups were pretty straightforward back then. You walked right, punched things.
Yeah, standard stuff.
But this game, no way. Yeah, the classic 2D brawling, sure. But then suddenly, boom, pseudo 3D levels.
Or you could move up and down the screen, too.
Exactly. Created this illusion of depth. And then, out of absolutely nowhere, you're in a space shooter section. Kind of like Asteroids.
Oh my god.
That kind of wild variety, it just kept you completely off balance.
Yeah.
Showed a real willingness to experiment that was, pretty rare for the time. It set a precedent for mashups.
That hoverboard section in level 3, I think that's where I truly learned patience. Or maybe just how to throw my controller.
Huh. I think a lot of people share that memory.
Was that crazy difficulty like a deliberate thing back then? And how did that make these games so memorable? Maybe even because they were so tough.
That's a really good question. I mean, some of it definitely came from the arcade roots, wanting to eat quarters.
Right, make it last.
Yeah, but a part of it, especially with Battletoads, felt like a deliberate choice to extend playtime and really push for mastery. It was notoriously hard.
Understatement.
And that difficulty, it became part of its legend, didn't it? Like a badge of honor if you actually beat it.
Totally.
It created this massive sense of accomplishment. That's why people still talk about those brutal levels today, I think.
That absolutely rings true. And speaking of distinct characters, how about Darkwing Duck?
Ah, another classic tie-in.
Based on the cartoon, yeah, but still seen as one of the best platformers for the Dendy. I vividly remember how it just nailed the cartoon's feel. The graphics were excellent, the music, so memorable.
Catchy tunes.
And it was just fun to play. Darkwing saving the city from villains like Quagga Liquid and Megavolt. Pure fun.
And what really makes Darkwing Duck stand out, I think, is how it was more than just a simple cash-in, tie-in game.
Right, it had depth.
It did. It mixed those familiar characters with genuinely clever gameplay. And the tools, like Darkwing's gas pistol and how you could swap it for super weapons.
Yeah, that's different ammo types.
It wasn't just for show. It gave you real strategic choices. How do you tackle this enemy? Which weapon works best here? Made it rewarding for cartoon fans and just platformer fans in general. showed licensed games could actually innovate.
And the hits just kept coming, didn't they? After the first DuckTales was such a hit, people were screaming for a sequel, and boom, 1993, Capcom delivered DuckTales 2.
With that great hook.
Yeah, Scrooge's nephews finding a map to hidden family treasures. Perfect setup. And the gameplay was really about exploration, finding secret rooms, moving freely.
And the cane.
Oh, the cane, so versatile. Bouncing on enemies, sure, but also breaking stuff, pulling levers, using it as a weapon.
And the shop. Being able to buy upgrades in the game store was pretty forward-thinking for a platformer back then.
Yeah, I gave it a sense of progression, customization. You didn't see that much.
Right.
Then there was the Flintstones, another cartoon game, but this one let you switch between Fred and Barney while looking for Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Which added a nice layer.
Totally. Great variety. Fred had his huge club, could grab ledges, climb. Barney was more agile, jumped higher, climbed vines, used a slingshot.
Different tools for different jobs.
Exactly. And the graphics were just pleasant. Really brought that cartoon world to life with unique decorations and stuff.
And it's important to remember, this wasn't just about the Dendy, right? 1993 was seeing games push boundaries on lots of different platforms, moving beyond 8-bit into 16-bit and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. So, moving away from the Dendy for a bit, let's talk Jurassic Park. Based on that massive movie.
Huge tie-in.
You played as Dr. Alan Grant, and the main goal was collecting dinosaur eggs across different zones. But man, those dinosaurs were aggressive.
Yeah, you needed that bazooka.
Definitely. Had to find the bazooka and the shells. Which brings us to an interesting point.
How games like Jurassic Park maybe pushed movie adaptations forward.
Yeah, exactly. Because licensed games back then could be, well, pretty basic sometimes.
Often very linear, yeah. But Jurassic Park felt more open. More about exploration, managing resources, kind of surviving.
A bit like the movie's theme.
Exactly. It felt ambitious for a tie-in, less about just getting to the end of the level, more immersive. And that detail about dinosaurs dropping ammo based on how many shots it took to kill them,
Oh, yeah.
that created this really clever risk-reward thing. Do I use my precious ammo now? Is it worth it?
Good point. Okay, next up, Mighty Final Fight.
Ah, the chibi final fight.
Yeah, a really charming beat-em-up. Set in Metro City, bad guys kidnap the mayor's daughter, classic stuff. But you had three really distinct heroes.
Code, Guy, and Haggard.
Right. Code, the street fighter with knives, Guy, the super fast ninja type, and Mike Haggard, the powerhouse wrestler. Big damage.
Hot-tempered, powerful. Those pile drivers.
Totally. And it even had some humor mixed in, which was kind of surprising for a beat-em-up.
And what's really cool about Mighty Final Fight is how different those characters felt. Their fighting styles, their personalities. It made the game really memorable.
Yeah, it wasn't just cosmetic.
Not at all. It wasn't just about mashing buttons. You picked a character that fit how you wanted to play. That added strategic depth, replayability, encouraged mastering different styles.
Speaking of style, visually, Sega Aladdin. Man, that game was gorgeous.
Stunning, wasn't it? Especially for the time.
Beautiful graphics, and the levels were so well designed. They followed the cartoon story perfectly.
Chronologically, yeah. Each stage felt fresh, new enemies, new settings, little riddles and puzzles.
That sixth stage, in the palace, fighting Jafar's goons and dealing with Iago, so good.
Yeah, very memorable.
And it just appealed to everyone, all ages. For adults, it was like this amazing trip back to childhood. And I think there was a Super Nintendo version too, right?
Yep, different game though,
Yeah.
but also from '93. Sega's version really nailed that animation feel.
Okay, then there's Asterix and Obelix, based on the French comics.
Another great adaptation.
A platformer, but with really varied levels, underwater sections, sneaking into Caesar's tent.
Right.
But the core thing was switching between Asterix and Obelix. Asterix was nimble, could get into tight spots, find secrets, escape fast.
While Obelix was just pure strength.
Exactly. Smash through blockages, take out whole Roman legions. It was all about using them together, coordinating their actions to solve puzzles and win fights.
If you think about the bigger picture, games like Asterix and Obelix, where you had to coordinate between characters with different skills, they really paved the way for future co-op games, didn't they?
Ah, interesting point.
That mechanic, strategically swapping characters to overcome obstacles, that laid groundwork for how players would later team up and solve problems together, taught the value of complementary abilities.
That makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears completely. Pure adrenaline. Rock and roll racing.
Oh yeah? With that soundtrack.
An amazing racing game. Just pulsating with rock music. You could customize your car guns, headlights, and your driver had stats like driving style, aggression, speed.
And the weapons? Lasers, plasma shells, those protective spikes. Pure chaos.
So fun.
But the absolute standout thing about rock and roll racing, beyond the frantic combat racing, was that soundtrack.
Unforgettable.
Licensing actual popular rock anthems. That was pretty groundbreaking back then. It gave the game this incredible energy, this unique identity people still remember decades later.
Totally.
It really showed the industry how powerful music could be in defining a game's feel, elevating the whole experience. And that progression system, winning races to unlock new planets, gave you a real goal.
Definitely kept you playing. Okay, now, let's talk about some truly revolutionary experiences, games that kind of defined new eras. On the Super Nintendo, we got Flashback.
Flashback. Cinematic platforming.
Yeah, it was this incredible blend, intricate plot, really interesting puzzles, and those graphics.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. Set a new standard, people said.
And what's really ingenious about Flashback is how it pushed cinematic storytelling and environmental puzzles, the animation.
You know, rotoscopes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Painstakingly traced over live-action footage. It gave the character movement this incredible fluidity that felt totally cinematic, way ahead of its time for 1993.
It felt like playing a movie.
It really did. It wasn't just about jumping, it was about unraveling this complex sci-fi mystery. Agent Conrad Hart, Aliens, Memory Wipe, it's set a new bar for console graphics and narrative depth.
Yeah.
Didn't it get into the Guinness Book of Records?
Yeah, best-selling game in France. Amazing.
Incredible achievement.
And finally, the PC titan that changed everything.
Doom, the legend.
Released in '93, an instant cult classic, a pillar of the horror genre, and it fundamentally altered how people thought about first-person shooters.
Absolutely redefined the genre.
The plot was simple, but man, so effective. You're a space marine on Mars, science station, experiments go wrong.
And the gates of hell open up.
Yeah, unleashing these nightmares, your job. Find survivors, save yourself. The atmosphere was key. Fear, horror, darkness, this sense of hopelessness.
It was a revolution in horror gaming, for sure.
Yeah.
And a massive step forward for first-person shooters.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, Doom didn't just make FPS games popular, right? It basically wrote the blueprint.
It really did, for countless games that followed. Its brilliance was partly in that innovative pseudo-3D engine, using BST trees, binary space partitioning.
Right, technical stuff.
Yeah, but basically it allowed for surprisingly complex 3D-looking environments on home PCs back then. That, plus its revolutionary shareware distribution.
Letting people play the first episode for free.
Exactly. It democratized access to this groundbreaking 3D gaming, and it accidentally sparked the huge modding community we still have today. People started making their own levels, changing things.
Yeah, WAD files.
Right. It was a total paradigm shift for how games were made and shared. Doom wasn't just a game, it was a cultural phenomenon that reshaped everything for years to come.
And honestly, we could keep going. 1993 was just stacked.
So many great titles.
We have to give some quick honorable mentions just to acknowledge the depth. Like, Blades of Vengeance on Sega.
Good one. Dark fantasy beat 'em up.
Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage on SNES.
Surprisingly tricky platformer.
Gunstar Heroes for Sega.
Treasure's masterpiece. Non-stop action.
Joe and Mac 2. Lost in the Tropics on SNES.
Fun co-op caveman action.
And the iconic Mega Man X, also on SNES.
A huge leap for that series. Absolutely essential. Each one just added its own flavor to that incredible year.
So, wrapping this up, what does it all mean? I mean, 1993 wasn't just a good year for games. It was this amazing crucible, right? Innovation, nostalgia, pure fun, all mixed together. It cemented its place in history.
Definitely a landmark year.
And for you listening, we really hope this deep dive gave you a good shortcut, a way to grasp the significance and the sheer lasting appeal of 93. Hopefully, plenty of those aha moments along the way.
It does make you wonder, though. You know, in an industry that's constantly changing, pushing forward, what is it about these games from 1993? Whether it's the simple polished mechanics of Chip and Dale 2 or the, atmospheric horror and groundbreaking tech of Doom, what allows them to still feel relevant, to still resonate emotionally after all these decades?
Is it just nostalgia?
Is it pure nostalgia? Or is it something fundamental about their design? Principles that just don't age? Or maybe it's just the personal memories we attach to them from when we first played them.
That's a fantastic question to chew on. Really highlights the magic of that time, doesn't it? Maybe it's a mix of all three.
Could be.
There's definitely a whole world of discovery or rediscovery waiting in these classics, so we definitely encourage you to think about your own gaming memories from '93, or maybe even fire up an emulator and revisit some of these titles.
Yeah, they hold up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into 1993. We'll be back soon to explore more fascinating corners of our shared knowledge.